Hey guys, Matt Jones outside this tablet here. You can see clearly marked to Australia, marking the contribution that Australia made during the Korean War. I'm in Seoul, at a place called Yongsan, outside this building here, which is the National War Memorial War Museum. And you can see these wings here, these columned wings, which continue around all sides of the buildings. They've got, which I think you can just make out on the distance here, large bronze tablets which have inscribed upon them the names of people who were killed during the Korean War. It's very sobering and tragic to look at all the names, and I'll take up now and show you the sacrifice that was made by Australia during that time, 1950 to 1953, noting that the fact that the 340 people killed in action from Australia, as you can see here, includes a small number of particularly airmen who crashed their plane after 1953, before 1956. Also includes 43 missing in action who are still unaccounted for, presumed dead. So I'm here, it's the 2nd of July, I'm here to pick up the project, the Friendship Tree, which I've been working on for a few years, and I'm getting into the phase of delivery. And I'm wanting to invite you to be part of this as we turn our attention to the sacrifice that Australia made during the Korean War. Many of you are aware that quite often military events have mostly just a ceremonial nature, unless there's any particular substance attached to the event from a national perspective. And I think that accounts well for why Korea as a conflict is known as the Forgotten War. And I think that as part of this project, the Friendship Tree, we need to actually correct that and address what is essentially a great wrong. And rather than just building yet another stone monument to the Korean War, I think it's more important that we set about to actually remember those who were involved in sacrifice during fighting in the Korean War. The story of friendship between Australia and Korea is so unmistakably and rightly underpinned by the names of these people on this tablet here. This one up the top here, and this one down here, making the 340 individuals who killed in action or missing in action during that time, 1950 through to 1953, but continuing through to 1956 in the case of a few individuals. For those who are following, earlier this year I did something called 100 Days to Harvest, and I explored the dimensions of the friendship between Australia and Korea through a daily little post. A lot of that attention was given to the Korean War, the sacrifice that was made, the fighting that might have been conducted at different times. There's many stories there, there's many untold stories, stories that I don't know, stories that I haven't told, stories that I haven't heard. And I think that many of those stories are essential for us to preserve as custodians of the sacrifice that these peoples have made. So I'm asking friends who are part of the veteran community, but not only those people who have served and are veterans, but also anyone who essentially has an interest by being Australian and or Korean can get involved in this. Particularly those people who have relatives or families whose names tragically are on this list. I very much welcome your participation. What I'm seeing it's going to look like is 340 names is too much for me to research on my own. It's just, I just don't have both the resources, but also one man trying to pull that together. I'm just not going to get the richness of conversations that would unfold if there's a greater many of us working on it together. And so what I'm proposing is that if people could contact me, I would allocate them a name, and then for you, once you've elected yourself to be involved and received a name, to then research this person, find out when they were born, where they lived, where they joined the military, where they served, when they came to Korea, what happened when they were here, the action they were involved in when they were killed or missing, their recovery and or missing status, and where they're currently buried. Any other aspects about their life, photographs, diary entries, personal accounts that you can get from other people would be absolutely richly important. Mostly I see this as being text and pictorial, but if you have a different medium, you'd like to record it, for example, in a video like this, we can just for the immediate start to the task, just record it as like a separate blog that I'll initiate, and then we can just correct, amend, update, add to that as required. As I said, there's a lot of information here, and I think it's important that we tread carefully with this. We're not just talking about numbers, we're talking about people who, like us, had dreams and ambitions. There are loved ones who are left behind who today are feeling the pain of their loss. And so this is more than just historical research, it's actually handling the past with care, and particularly those who have served, I think will understand the gravity of that requirement. So I'll have photographs of these tablets. We can work out a way to distribute it. If you want to team up with other people to work on one name, then that's great. I don't think there's any urgency to get it done by a particular date. And so I think let's set to maybe by setting a date, for example, in Australia Day 2018, to have a completed list of 340 names with their details remembered and not forgotten. I hope that you might join us to be part of this initiating action as part of the Friendship Tree project, exploring the story of friendship between Australia and Korea. Thanks very much for listening. Look forward to hearing from you soon.